It's time to go beyond the headlines, cause I don't put in overtime just so I can headline. Okay, now it's Fox Sports, I'm live with Renee. Going hard every day, sports rapping every play. Different segments for your favorites, coming at you daily with positive vibes, yeah, we some game changers. Basketball, football, soccer, with different interviews, you never know who may pop up. Listen, only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines, this is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.
Joining us now on Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington, we've got Cam Lynch, founder of Heartwork Media and an NFL veteran. Cam, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
I am excited to get into your career, the NFL draft, the NFL as a whole. But before we even get into all of that, I have to ask, as I've been asking everybody that's been on the show the last couple of weeks, what is your new normal around COVID-19?
My new normal is now running an isolated run for about 3 to 5 miles. My partner, my girlfriend, she played soccer at Georgia State, and she loves to run. So I'm like, okay, I'll run with you. I live in Tampa by the water, by Bayshore. And so we run Bayshore, and that is my new norm now. I didn't do it playing sports since I was 7 like that, and I'm doing it now. So it's my new norm, a new lifestyle change and addition for me.
Oh, yeah. That's first of all, shout out to the fact that your girlfriend played soccer, as a former soccer player myself. But also, yeah, I love the fact that you said it's something you didn't do before when you were playing, before, but that's what COVID-19 has done. It's allowed us to and forced us to do things that we normally would put off and say we don't have time to do, because now we've got much more time. But I am curious, I do want to get into your NFL career as we get closer to draft day, and you were undrafted into the NFL. So can you take us through your career as someone that has had the opportunity to play football at the highest level, to be undrafted in 2015, and have the chance to sign with the St. Louis Rams? Talk to us about that experience for you as a whole, so to shed some light on it.
Yeah, so just going undrafted one is kind of like walking onto a team, professional team, or a college team. Sorry, it's like walking onto a college team, and it relates to the professional arena as well, because you're not given any chances, right? Like in college, you have to earn your scholarship. In the NFL, being undrafted, it's the same way. No matter where you go, you will be a bubble person until you get that franchise tag or you get to your third contract. But it's something that sticks with you, and it's pretty cool because you're in a circle of your own within the NFL, which is the NFL. I mean, it's one out of however many, right? And if you're undrafted, you're in an even smaller circle, so it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand or really appreciate all the pieces that go into a professional league. Of course, we only see things I always say, from the outside looking in, on social media, on TV. But when you're a part of it, there's all different levels. Not everybody gets right into the league and has this perfect career, this stress-free, easy career. And that's something I know I dealt with in soccer when I made that transition. It's not as easy as it looks. And you can probably definitely attest to that, having gone into the league undrafted. So now the way you have to prove yourself probably felt a little different than maybe someone else. So as you're progressing, you played with the Rams, you were with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, moving from team to team, navigating through that journey of just uncertainty and just trying to always prove yourself. Can you touch on that as well a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of like life. It's kind of like now, right? Like COVID-19 is a struggle. Right now, we're seeing a lot of people struggle, and there's good struggle and there's bad struggle, right? Like if you're running, for an example, if you're running, you are struggling when you're running because your body's hurting. If you didn't drink water, there's a lot of things going on, right, in that struggle. Right now, in COVID-19, it's a struggle, right? A similar way. If the foundation isn't there, you're going to struggle, right? As if you didn't drink water or didn't eat before you went to go run. being undrafted is a struggle, right? And I think like I lived the struggle, right? Like I am comfortable being uncomfortable a lot of times in my life. So that's what that was like, and that's what life is like. So that's kind of how I just approach things and move.
Yes, yeah. I love that you compared that to life because that is spot on. That's literally how, what you dealt with and what we always see in sports is how much it really does prepare you for life, but you don't really realize it until after you're done playing. I'm sure you now have a greater appreciation for all that you dealt with, all the adversity, all the success, the ups and downs that you dealt with before now as you step away after you've stepped away, I should say. So
Yeah, yeah. Being retired, I feel like Yoda.
yes, yeah. I definitely could see that for sure. So as we get closer to the draft, this year COVID-19 has completely changed the way we absorb sports, including the way that the draft is being held, with everything being held digitally. We don't excuse me. We don't have the usual everyone gathering in one city and all the excitement around that. But what are you looking forward to as you get into the NFL draft with this new format to keep social distancing and to still be able to have the NFL draft go on as close to as business as usual as possible?
Well, I like it. One reason why is because of the XFL, because they did the
Okay.
draft virtually. In the NFL, I have friends from the NFL that work there, and they said, "Did you see the XFL draft? That's a joke." Literally, they said that's a joke, and now it's like, the XFL is on to something, right? And the XFL, I had a chance to do color commentary and playing football in the NFL since I was 7, really just working my way up and then seeing the XFL, seeing teammates from college play, from high school, from middle school play in the XFL, and even guys that I play with in the league there. It was cool to kind of see the way that they move. And I mean, for a startup, they deserve all that's coming to them because, I mean, they set the tone for not only the NFL, but just for the sports world in general. They did a great job. And I'm excited to see kind of how the NFL takes it and makes it their own and just give these guys in the XFL a chance. I'm excited to see these XFL guys run around this field and see them play, see them get drafted or on a team.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think that's crazy. They said a joke. That's wow. That is interesting. I mean, to look down on them like that. But that is look, hey, we're all doing everything virtually now. There's the joke's on all of us because we're all doing everything virtually. Um, but no, I mean, any teams that you think in particular, we've seen a lot of movements in free agency. Of course, the biggest that a lot of people are talking about, Tom Brady moving and joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, we now have Cam Newton and Jameis Winston on the trying to not really sure how that's going to play out, where they're going to land. Any teams in particular that you think after we saw free agency now more than ever need to crack down on the NFL draft because they didn't do much in free agency or maybe they didn't do the right moves and it's pivotal they make the right choices now in the draft?
Well, I mean, playing in the NFC South and then also playing for the Rams in the NFC West, I believe it is. Paying attention to those teams. The Buccaneers did a great job. Just acquiring the best player to ever play the game, right? And Tom Brady, number one, and then number two, making sure that they get everybody back on the defense. I mean, most people back. They have a lot of defensive linemen back, which is going to shore up Tom Brady. I mean, if no team can move the ball and Tom Brady gets the ball in his hands, it will be a tough day for anybody that the Buccaneers play. So, really looking at other teams other than the Rams and the Buccaneers, I'm not really too concerned about. It's kind of like graduating college, and Syracuse is the only school that I have my eyes on. Same thing in the NFL. So any other team, I mean, best of luck to you. The Falcons did a great job of acquiring Todd Gurley. I played with him at the Rams, so that was cool to see. But other than that, I mean, the two teams that I've played for has done a great job, and I will see kind of what the Rams do. I mean, they're shuffling a lot of people in and out, but they do have a Johnny Hecker and Aaron Donald who are walking Hall of Famers. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I do always wonder for anyone that played in the league, if they, now that you are done playing, if you still have that loyalty to your team, and of course you do, of course. But it's funny you talk about Tom Brady because Skip Bayless was saying he loves Tom Brady's chances to win MVP, and he thinks he's going to lead the league in touchdown passes. Now, look, I'm an Eagles fan, so I take a lot of things and I'm a LeBron fan, so I take a lot of things Skip Bayless says with a grain of salt because usually we're on the opposite side of the spectrum with most sports discussions. But do you think Tom Brady MVP? Are you feeling that at all, or do you see him being a front runner for MVP this season with all the incredible quarterback play specifically that we've seen with players like Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes, just two that come to mind? Do you think that he is a possibility for MVP next year?
Why not? Right? Like that's like saying, is LeBron a possibility? Like, why not? You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're the best athletes. They're the best athletes to play their sport. When you think about it, like Michael Jordan, like he's scratching his head constantly because he's like, dang, LeBron's playing. You know what I mean? So that's the same thing for Joe Namath and any other quarterback who's thrown the football. Like, dang, Tom Brady's playing it again. Like he gets the two best receivers in the league, and he gets another whack at it again. So when you apply that pressure to other greats, then dang right, you can believe that they'll be in the MVP race.
I mean, I'm not a Tom Brady hater. I was a Patriots hater. I just hated the dynasty. I don't like dynasties unless it's LeBron James or the Eagles. So I don't know. I mean, I do think something that a lot of people didn't realize at first when we heard he was going with Tampa Bay was just how dangerous this move really is with him having receivers now and players around him to help him only elevate his game. But I guess I could see the why not. I just look at the fact that we have such a change in the quarterback position with more athletic, younger quarterbacks that are able to run and throw the ball. So it didn't cross my mind for him to be a potential MVP candidate. But when you put it in LeBron James terms and compare, and Michael Jordan, you bring up Joe Namath, and okay, I can see that a little bit. All right, yeah. So then I have to ask.
He's going to apply pressure anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I have to ask then. I know it's only April, and Lord only knows what's going to change between now and the start of the NFL season, and hopefully we even have the season start on time. But taking your loyalties off from the teams you played for, who are your teams to watch as we get into the NFL season? I'm put you on the spot a little bit. Who do you think teams are I'm going to say top three, maybe? Top three teams to watch in your opinion.
Top three teams to watch, in my opinion,
before
outside
the draft
of the Buccaneers.
In April. Okay.
So outside of my team, so I'm going to go with the connection with the Buccaneers. So the Cardinals, I'm going to say in the NFC. Well, the reason why is because of Chandler Jones, right? You have a Kyler Murray who's there. You have a Chandler Jones who went to Syracuse, who is on that list of top 10 defensive players of the decade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to look at them and kind of see where they go in helping Kyler Murray moving forward. That'll be a place where I'll keep my eye on. And then also the Cowboys. So recently, my coach for the Rams, John Fossil, has went to the Cowboys now. And now they have acquired Gerald McCoy from the Buccaneers. So I'm very interested to kind of see how they move forward with that dynasty. And finally, I would love to see where the Patriots go, how they rock and roll, right? Because Tom Brady, again, is now at the Buccaneers. So, I mean, I know they acquired it wasn't Blaine Gabbert, because Blaine Gabbert came to the Buccaneers. Oh, Hoyer. So Brian Hoyer, I believe, is their quarterback, and he was behind Brady for a while. And so I'm curious to see how smart Brian Hoyer is, because they must trust him to run the offense. So I'm curious to see how Bill Belichick, how great he is.
Okay. I respect those answers. Definitely, I didn't even think about the Cardinals, but I'm excited to see what Kyler Murray does in this year. You know, after how we saw his start to the NFL, and his transition into the league was seamless. So yeah, okay, we'll see what happens. But Cam, where can our listeners follow you on social media to keep up with all of your football coverage and all the work that you're doing? to continue to keep up with your stories and things like that?
So they can go to my business page, heartworkmedia.com, and I have a Twitter and Instagram handle for my business page, which is heartwork_media for Instagram and heartworkmedia1 on Twitter. So I will be a broadcaster doing color commentary once sports start up again. I will be podcasting and creating content. I'm a producer and a creator outside of being an athlete. So I'm looking to grow in the business field and the media field. And thank you again for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate your questions and kind of stretching my brain, right? Because I didn't think about those teams that I'm looking forward to watch. So I really just made those up on the spot. But I kind of went with my gut and kind of just started from the Buccaneers and branched off. So thank you for challenging my thought process.
No problem. And you know what? Because I put you on the spot, I'm gonna just blame it on the fact that you weren't prepared for why you didn't say the Eagles, because I'm an Eagles fan, and I don't know why you didn't put them as your team to watch, but it's cool. It's it's all right. I won't hold that against you.
Yeah, I mean, I play for the Buccaneers, so hey, you could be a fan of a lot of teams, but if it's not the Bucs or the Rams, hey, I can't help you.
Oh wow, it's like that. Okay, I see how it is. Well, you know what? This might be the year for at least one of your teams, because Tampa Bay definitely is. If nothing else, they can only go. They could go down, but the level is, the bar is set a little low. Let's just say that. I was trying to figure out a politically correct way to say it. The bar is low for what Tom Brady has to be better than.
It's similar to the Eagles. All good though.
The Eagles are going to be, hey, we're winning the NFC East again, and we're going to this time be healthy and ready come playoff time to get past the first round of the playoffs. So that's
all right.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens, though, because football is going to happen. We're speaking it into existence. We're going to start on time. COVID's going to be done, taken care of. Everyone will be healthy, and we'll be ready to go. But thank you so much.
I like that.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining the show. I know you got to get out of here. So I'll have to have you come back on for some more trash talking, especially as we get closer to the season or in season, and we see if your predictions and thoughts come true. But it's been a pleasure having you here on Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Renee.